Hey YouTube fam, I hope you are doing so well. I'm excited to be back on here with another Vinyasa practice for you today. Before we jump in, just a couple of reminders. First, more of an announcement, my 2022 retreat lineup has been officially announced. It's on my website, thecollectivekula.com. I'll link it below. We are going to Panama, to Montana, to the French Alps, to Portugal, and to Cape Town. So if you want to go to any of those places with me, I hope you'll check out the retreat schedule. They're going to be launching for registration in the next couple weeks. Kula Members, which is my membership site. If you haven't practiced with me before, haven't heard me talk about it, it is a membership site where I upload 3 classes per week as well as some meditations. All of this will be linked below, but Kula members get first access to sign up, and annual members get a little bit of a discount. So if you think you might want to come on retreat and you're not yet a part of the Kula, it might be an opportunity to do both. But I will link all the information for that below, and for today, let's just get moving. Come down onto your back. Onto the back body with the bottoms of the feet together and the knees pointed out towards the edges of the mat, and land here with your biggest breath that you've taken yet today. Big breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Interlace your fingers except for your thumbs and press the palms up towards an imaginary wall above your head. See if you can press the low back into the mat. Big in breath. And exhale through the mouth. Release the fingers and walk the hands down by the sides. Face the palms up towards the ceiling. This is a shape for the hands that helps us receive energy. And continuing to just fine-tune this arrival into the present and this connection to the body through breath. Now is a really great point in practice to check in. How are you doing? How are you doing? What do you need for this next little bit of time that we have together? Take one more big round of breath here before we start to move. And then start to walk the arms out into a T so that the wrists are directly out from the shoulders. Keep the left knee where it's at and swing the right knee over to stack on top of the left, finding a really gentle supine twist here. Drop your gaze over to the right, eyes can softly open. On your in-breath, come back through center with both legs and drop them over to the right. Gentle supine twist to other side. Gaze can come over to the left fingertips, left hand. In-breath to come back through center. Plant the feet hip-width distance. Drop the hands down by the sides and then ground into the heels. Drive the hips up to the ceiling, bridge pose. Grounding into the heels to engage into the glutes. Pull the knees in towards each other. Take an in-breath. On your exhale, roll down the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Pull the knees into the chest, crossing right ankle over the left knee. Thread the right arm through the left arm around, so you're interlacing the hands either around the left shin or the back of the left thigh. From here, start to roll out the ankles, circling out in one direction, and then circling out in the other direction. One more exhale to pull the legs a little closer to the body while keeping the low back engaged with the mat. And then we're going to keep the legs positioned as they are, but you're going to release the hands down by the sides, drop the left foot to the floor, and then grounding into the left heel, press the hips up towards the ceiling, coming back into this bridge pose shape, but with the figure 4. Think of pulling right knee down towards the floor, grounding into left heel to drive the hips up towards ceiling, and then keeping hands down by the sides. Exhale, lower the hips down. Pull the legs as close as you can into the body without using the hands for help. So a little bit more active mobility here. Drop the left foot back down to the mat. Exhale, drive the hips up towards ceiling. Take an in-breath at the top. And then exhale, lower the hips back down. Pull the legs in towards the body. Flex out the feet. One more time, drop the left foot to the floor. Drive the hips up towards the ceiling. This time we're going to extend right leg up towards ceiling. On your exhale, keep the right leg lifted, lower the hips down. Right peace fingers hold on to the right big toe. It's okay if there's a bend in the knee here. You're just gonna pull the right thigh towards right rib cage, getting a big stretch in the right hamstrings and really down the whole backside of the right leg. Flex the right toes towards the body. And then open the right leg up to the right just a bit, even if it's just a little movement. And then come back through center. Swap it out. Left knee over the left ankle over the right knee. Left arm threads through, right arm reaches around. So for this first one, you're using the hands to pull the legs in towards the body. Maybe you circle out the ankles. Flex and point the toes. Take one more full cycle of breath here. And then releasing the hands down by the sides, drop the right heel to the floor. Grounding into the heel on your exhale, lift the hips, engage into the glutes, press left knee down towards the mat. Drop the hips back down. Pull legs into the chest as close as you can towards body without using the hands for help. A couple more times, drop the right foot. Ground into the heel, engage the glutes to drive the hips up towards ceiling. And then exhale, drop the hips down, pull the legs in towards the chest. Last one, drop the right foot to the floor. Lift the hips, this time extending left leg up towards ceiling. Point out the left toes for a moment. Lift the hips even a little higher. Take an in-breath. On your exhale, lower the hips back down to the mat. Keep left leg lifted. Left peace fingers hold on to the left big toe. Totally fine if you need a bend in the left knee here for this to be possible. To start, we're just pulling left thigh towards left rib cage. And then as you're ready for it, maybe you open the left leg off to the left side of the mat. Getting into the left inner thigh adductors. In breath, come back through center. Bend into both knees, planting both feet to the floor. Hands down by the sides, ground into the heels. Lift the hips, bridge pose. Rolling shoulders underneath you. This time maybe you interlace the hands underneath you. Think of really squeezing the heels back towards the upper body to engage into the hamstrings. Release the clasp of the hands. Exhale, slow, lower one vertebrae at a time, coming all the way down the back body. Pull the knees into the chest. Lift the shoulders up off the mat so you can clasp opposite elbows around the knees, finding a really tight squeeze in here. And then keeping the right knee in, extend the left leg long. We're gonna rock up and down the spine a couple of times until eventually you can land with the right foot to the mat, the left leg long. Left foot might lift, or it might not. Drop the hips back down, both knees into the chest. Left knee in, right leg straightens. Plant the left foot, maybe the hips lift. Drop the hips down, swap it out, right knee into the chest, left leg long. As you come back up, right foot plants. One more time, drop the hips down, left knee into the chest, right leg long. Plant into left foot, lift the hips. Come back down, plow pose, toes tap behind the head. And then on your exhale, we're gonna roll down the spine, come all the way up past seated and into a tabletop position. So rolling over the ankles, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Go ahead and circle out the wrists. Circling out in one direction, and then circling out in the other. On your next in-breath, come back through neutral, kick the right leg long behind you, open up the heart, bend into the elbows, lower the chin and the chest to tap the mat. Exhale, press back up, pull the right knee to nose. Keep the right knee bent and open up the leg. And then you're gonna extend right leg off to the right side of the mat. Drop the foot to the floor and send the hips back to the left heel. To start, walk the fingertips long towards the top of the mat, and then if you want a little bit more, you could walk the hands over to the right, so towards the right foot, getting into the left side body. And the inner right thigh and opening up the hip. On your in-breath, come back through center. Ground into the left knee. We're gonna kind of roll through funky spinal wave a couple times. So ground into finger pads, knuckle pads, round through the back body as you come up. Keep the right leg off to the right. Drop hips down and forward, open the heart through. And then lift the tailbone, roll the hips all the way back onto the left heel. Round through the back body as you come up. Drop the hips forward and down, shoulders onto the back. And then exhale, roll the hips all the way back. One more time. Round as you come up, back of the heart presses towards sky. Drop hips down and forward, pull the heart through. And then exhale, come back just into a neutral spine, lift the right leg, and then swing it around behind you, open the heart, bend into the elbows, lower the chin and the chest. Exhale, press up, round the knee to nose, and then just drop right knee underneath right hip. Take a little shift with the hips side to side. Same thing second side, and then we're gonna pick up our pace and build some more heat. Left leg kicks back. Start by opening up the heart. On your exhale, lower, bending into the elbows, lower chin and chest to tap. Exhale as you press up. Round left knee to nose, press floor away from you. And then start here just by opening up the left hip. So left knee in line with left hip. Straighten left leg off to the left side of the mat. And then on your exhale, drop the left foot to the floor. Send the hips back to the right heel. So starting by walking hands long towards the top of the mat, getting length in the inner left thigh. And then on your exhale, walk the hands over to the left if you want a little bit more. You can also keep the hands in the middle. Take 1, maybe 2 more cycles of breath here. And then using your in-breath, walk the hands back through center. Ground into finger pads, ground into knuckle pads, round through the back body as you roll your way up. And then drop the hips down and forward, shoulders onto the back. In-breath, come back through center. Exhale, hips to the right heel. 2 more times round as you come up. Drop the hips down and forward, shoulders onto the back. And then on your exhale, lift back up, send the hips back to the right heel. Last one, round through the back body, come all the way up. Drop the hips down and forward, shoulders onto the back. And then in-breath back through center, find your neutral spine. So tabletop position, lift the left foot. Swing the left leg back around and then open up the heart as you bend into the elbows, lower chin and chest to tap. Press back up, left knee pulls in, and then drop left knee underneath left hip. Take a little shift with the hips, side to side. Find your way back into neutral. Take a big step forward with both hands. Melt the heart to the floor, puppy pose, gazes towards the top of the mat. So the idea in this shape is that the chest would reach the floor before the chin would. See if you can drop the forearms to the floor, and then on your exhale, round all the way through, coming into your Sphinx Pose. Forearms directly underneath the shoulders, or elbows directly underneath the shoulders. So you're pressing the floor away from you, lifting up and out. Press the tops of the toes into the floor and thread the heart through. On your exhale, we're gonna tuck onto the toes. Keep the knees grounded to start, just lift the hips. And then once you feel strong in the core and supported in the low back, maybe you lift the knees from the mat, forearm plank. Take a little shift forward and back again. We're gonna start to build some heat here pretty quickly. Grounding into finger pads and knuckle pads. See if you can lift the elbows, just coming into a hollow plank shape. Exhale, lower forearms to the mat. Press into finger pads, knuckle pads. Lift the elbows, hollow plank. Lower back down. 3 more times, lift the elbows. Hollow it out, press floor away from you. Exhale, lower forearms to the mat. 2 more, lift up. And then lower forearms, come down. Last one, lift the forearms. Step the hands back so that wrists are underneath the shoulders. We've landed in our first high plank of practice. Bend into the knees, pull the heart back, pull the hips back. And then exhale, straighten out the legs, downward dog. First down dog of practice, pedal at the feet. Bend into one knee, bend into the other knee, shifting hips side to side. Movement that feels good in the body, drop the head. And then using your next exhale, slow motion, let's walk to the top of the mat. Find your forward fold, Uttanasana. Clasp opposite elbows once you're here, finding a little bit of a sway, side to side. Dropping weight of the head, shaking the head, yes, no. And then releasing hands down to the mat, 1 vertebrae at a time on your in-breath. Roll your way all the way up to standing. Arms sweep up overhead at the top. Interlace the fingers except for the thumbs. Press the palms up towards the ceiling. Tuck the tailbone, knit the rib cage in, and then engaging into the glutes. Maybe you peel open for just a little baby back bend at the top. Release the hands, forward fold, Uttanasana. In-breath, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. On your exhale, fold, plant hands, plank pose. Wrists underneath the shoulders. Exhale, lower halfway hover, elbows hug in. Press back up, plank pose. Exhale, dolphin, forearms to the mat, pull the hips back. Shift forward, high plank. Exhale, halfway lower, hover. Pull it through upward dog, coming to the tops of the toes. Thighs are lifted, or you can come down to a baby cobra. Exhale, roll the hips up and back, downward facing. Come high onto the toes, bend into the knees. Exhale, step, walk, hop, play, float, handstand, however you get to the top of the mat. Rebound with a halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold, and release. Inhale to rise, come all the way through standing, interlace the thumbs, press palms up towards the ceiling, open up the heart. Exhale, forward fold, release fingertips down towards the mat. In breath, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold, plant hands, high plank, step back. Bend into the elbows, lower halfway hover, knees can drop if you need. Press up, plank pose, send it back, dolphin, forearms to the floor, hips back. Pull the heart back towards thighs. On your in-breath, shift forward, high plank. Exhale, halfway hover. Pull through to your up dog, coming to the tops of the toes. Exhale, send it up and back, downward facing. Once more, just like that, kind of a modified sun sal. On your exhale, step, walk, hop the feet, top of the mat. In breath, half lift. Exhale, fold with breath. Inhale, come up through standing. Interlace the fingers, press palms up towards the ceiling, open up the heart. On your exhale, dive it forward, Uttanasana, find your fold. In breath, half lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold, plant hands, plank pose. Lower halfway hover, elbows hugging. Press up, high plank. Exhale, forearms to the floor, send the hips back, dolphin. Shift forward, high plank. Exhale, halfway lower, and then pull it through. Find your up dog. On your exhale, roll the hips up and back, downward facing. Next in breath, right toe sweep high. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Think of pointing right knee up towards ceiling and squeezing the heel into the glutes. On your exhale, right knee across body, left elbow, straighten the right leg through. Left foot spins flat, left fingertips sweep up high. Drop the right hip to tap the mat, left fingertips point towards back of the mat. And then lift all the way back up, left fingertips reach forward. In breath, right hip taps, left fingertips sweep back. Lift all the way back up, left hand forward. We've got one more time, right hip taps. In breath, come all the way back up, left hand to the mat. Right toes open up to wild things, stepping them behind the back, open up the heart. Take some big circles with the right arm, so mobilizing the shoulder girdle. And then switch direction of the circles. As you're ready, slow movement here. We're gonna plant the right hand to the top of the mat, pull the right knee into the chest, step the foot through between the hands. On your in-breath, pivot open, warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Next, inhale, reverse. Left hand, left thigh. Right arm comes up and over. Exhale, cartwheel the hands. Step the left foot to the top of the mat. Find your fold. Bend into the knees. In breath, come up. Chair pose. Hips back, heart forward. Shift onto the toes. Heels lift as arms reach back. Airplane wings. Sink a little deeper into the shape. Core is strong. Ground into the heels as you hook the thumbs. Press palms up towards the ceiling. Open up the heart. Exhale, fold it forward, Uttanasana. In breath, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold, plant hands, your Vinyasa. So step back, hop back, Vinyasa through. However you carry your way, find your way, carry yourself into a down dog movement with breath along the way. In breath, left toe sweep high, bend the knee, open up the hip. Think of pointing left knee up towards ceiling, squeezing left heel into the glutes. Exhale, left knee, right elbow, straighten left leg through. Right fingertips sweep up high. Pull the hips up as high as you can. And then tap left hip to the floor, right fingertips point back. Lift all the way back up, right hand reaches forward. Exhale, left hip taps, right fingertips back. Lift back up, right hand reaches forward. We've got one more. Left hip taps the mat, right hand reaches back. And then as we lift the hip, circle the right hand, plant to the mat. Big transition all the way to wild thing. Left toes come from underneath to behind you. Big circles with the left arm. Again, mobilizing the shoulder girdle. Switch direction of the circles. Left hand to the top of the mat. Left knee into the chest. Step the foot through. Open it up. Warrior two. Right foot spins flat. Reach through the fingertips. Meet the shape. Find your breath. Next, inhale, find your reverse. Right hand, right thigh, left arm comes up and over. On your exhale, cartwheel it out. Frame out the left foot, step forward. With your breath, bend into the knees. Inhale, chair pose. Sending hips back, sending heart forward, keeping the core super strong. Shift onto the toes, letting heels lift, reach arms back to airplane wings. Sink a little bit deeper into the shape. And then grounding the heels, interlace the fingers, press palms up towards ceiling as you open up the heart. Next, exhale, find your fold, Uttanasana. In breath, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold, plant hands, step or hop or play, making your way eventually to a downward dog. Once you land there, big breath in through the nose, maybe out through the mouth if that feels good. We're gonna roll out the dog a couple times, but we're gonna add on a Chaturanga Push-Up between, or in the middle of. It's all optional, modify as you need. On your exhale, like a wave, ripple the spine forward, articulating up the spine as you shift plank pose. Exhale, halfway lower. Press up, high plank. From the tailbone, pull the hips back. Downward dog, 2 more times. Ripple forward, high plank. Bend into the elbows, lower halfway. Press up, high plank. From the tailbone, roll the hips back. Downward dog, last one, shift forward, rolling through. Exhale, lower, hover, pause. Lift the right toes from the mat. Press up. As you do, kick back, 3-legged down dog. Exhale, right knee, left elbow, straighten the right leg through. Left fingertips open up. And then tap the right hip to the mat, left fingertips point back. Just once this time, lift up. We're gonna circle left hand to the mat. Right toes come from underneath to behind you. Lift the hips. On your next in-breath, circle the right hand to the mat. Right foot steps through. In-breath, pivot open, warrior two. Find your reverse. Left hand, left thigh. Exhale, cartwheel it down, step forward, top of the mat, forward fold. Bend into the knees, in breath, come up, chair pose, hips back. Exhale, shift to the toes, lift the heels, arms to airplane wings. Ground through the heels as you hook interlace the fingers, open up the heart at the top. On your exhale, dive it forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. In breath, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant hands, take it back. Your Vinyasa, or straight back, find your downward dog. Next, exhale like a wave, ripple forward, plank pose, sticking with the pace, lower halfway. Press up, high plank. From the tailbone, roll it back, downward facing. Exhale, ripple forward, high plank. Lower halfway. Press up, high plank. From the tailbone, roll the hips all the way back. Last one, ripple forward. Lower halfway. Lift left toes to a hover. And then as you press up, kick left foot back. On your exhale, left knee across the body, right elbow. Straighten left leg through. Right foot spins flat, right fingertips open up. Just once, tap left hip. Reach the right hand back. Lift all the way back up. Right hand to the mat. Left toes come from underneath to behind. Open up the heart. And then using your in-breath, again, take your time in the transitions. Left hand plants, left knee into the chest. Step it through. In-breath. Virabhadrasana 2, right foot spins flat. Next, inhale, find your reverse. Right hand, right thigh, left arm up and over. Exhale, cartwheel it out. Step right foot to the top of the mat, fold. Bend into the knees. Inhale, come up. Chair pose. Shift onto the toes. Let the heels lift as arms reach to airplane wings. Interlace the fingers as the heels drop. Last time, press up through the palms, open up the heart. Exhale, dive it forward. Uttanasana, find your fold. In breath, half lift. Exhale, fold. Plant hands, take it back. Vinyasa, or whatever carries you into your downward dog. Landing here for a full cycle of breath. Next inhale, right toes sweep high. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Step the right foot off to the left and left fingertips reach. Right hand taps just once, left fingertips reach back. As we lift the hips, left hand circles down. Right toes come from underneath behind. Just a moment in your wild thing, right toes tap. And then this time, as we come back, right hand plants. Right knee to the right elbow, pause and hold it. Or Ekapada Vinyasa, left elbow catches left hip, left toes lift. From wherever you're at, left toes to the back of the mat. Right toes kick high, three-legged down dog. On your exhale, knee into the chest, step the foot through. Ground into the right heel. Lift straight up, warrior three. Spine parallel to the mat. Left leg parallel to the mat. Bring palms to touch at the heart. Core is strong. On your in-breath, come up through standing. We're gonna cross left ankle over the right knee, sending hips back, sending heart forward. Sit deep into the shape for a moment. And then come right back up. On your exhale, kick the left leg back. Warrior three. One more time, ground into the right heel, come up through standing. Exhale, sit deep into the shape just for a moment. Left ankle over right knee. Come right back up. Kick the left foot back, arms to airplane wings this time. Bend into the right knee. Left foot plants, pivot open. Warrior two. Find your reverse. Left hand, left thigh, right arm comes up and over. On your exhale, cartwheel it out. This time stepping right foot back, plank pose. Your vinyasa. Or send the hips straight back, meeting in your down dog. Last time, last side for this sequence. Inhale, left toes, sweep high. Exhale, knee across the body, left elbow. Right foot spins flat, right fingertips open up. Tapping just once, left hip to the mat, right fingertips point back. Lift all the way back up. As you circle, right hand to the mat. Left toes come from underneath to behind. Take time in the transition, open up the heart. Meet the pose just for a moment. And then we're coming back through center, left hand to the mat. Either left knee, left elbow, or Ekapada, maybe right toes lift. From whatever shape you're in, right toes to the back of the mat. Left foot kicks back, three-legged down dog. Exhale, left knee into the chest. Step the foot through. We're coming straight to our warrior three. Spine parallel to the floor. Right leg parallel to the floor. Bring palms to touch at the heart. We're gonna ground into the left heel. And on your inhale, come up through standing. Right ankle over the left knee. Send the hips back, send the heart forward. Sit deep into the shape for a moment. And then come right back up. Kick it back. Warrior three. One more time, right knee into the chest. Cross the right ankle, sit deep. And then release, rebounding back through center. Kick the right leg back, arms to airplane wings. Slow bend into the left knee until right toes meet the back of the mat. Pivot it open, warrior two. Meet the shape. With your next in-breath, find the reverse. Right hand, right thigh, left arm comes up and over. Next exhale, cartwheel it out. Frame out the left foot. Step back, plank pose. Either your vinyasa or send the hips straight back, meeting in your downward dog. And come up high onto the toes. Take a deep bend into the knees. Exhale, malasana, top of the mat. So feet land wider than the hands or wider than the hips. Interlace the fingers and roll out the wrists for a moment. Switch direction of your circles. And then with your peace fingers, hold onto the big toes. We're gonna use this grip on the foot to really traction the hips as low as you can. Pull on the toes to straighten out the spine. Reaching crown of the head really tall here. One more cycle of breath. I think this feels so good. And then keeping this grip on the toes, on your exhale, lift the hips. Find your fold. Fingers wrapped around the big toes. On your in-breath, bend into the knees. Let the hips drop, pull the heart through. Exhale, lift the hips, straighten out the legs. One more time, bend into the knees, let the hips drop. Roll the shoulders onto the back. Exhale, lift all the way back up. Pausing here, heart pulls back towards the thighs. Walk the right hand to the left, outside edge of the left foot. Bend into the right knee, and then open the left fingertips up towards sky. Maybe reaching left hand behind the back for a bind. And then come back through center. Straighten out through the right leg, left fingertips plant off to the right side of right foot. Left knee bends, right hand opens up. And again, option if you want to find the bind. Release bind if you've got it. Fold back through center, walk the feet back in so that they're hip width distance apart. And then one vertebrae at a time. Take your time, rolling our way all the way up through standing. Arms sweep up overhead at the top. Interlace the fingers except for the thumbs. Press palms up towards ceiling. Open up the heart. And then on your exhale, dive it forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. In breath, halfway lift, lengthen. On your exhale, fold, plant hands. Maybe a handstand hop or two along your way through a vinyasa and eventually to a downward dog. All are just options. You can also find a child's pose along the way. We're gonna take one more sequence and then we're gonna start to slow things down. On your next in-breath, sweep the right toes high. Exhale, right knee into the chest, step the foot through. Left knee bends until it's just to a hover above the mat. Lift upper body up, palms come to touch at the heart. Squeeze the right heel back, squeeze the left toes forward. Left knee is just to a hover. We're gonna keep the spine tall, but on your exhale, rotate to the right. So twisting to the right using just the strength of the core. Take an in-breath. On your exhale, keep the palms to touch at the heart. Kick off of the left toes. Find a reverse half moon. So left toes lift. You're twisted to the right, right shoulder to stack on top of the left. Drop left fingertips down towards the mat. Open the right hand up. And then on your exhale, bend into both knees, tapping left knee to the right calf. We're gonna reach right hand to hold on to the left toes. Left fingertips to extend forward, kick into the left hand, and open it up, reverse dancer's pose. Opening up the right shoulder, the left quads, and of course the back body. On your in-breath, come all the way through standing, left knee into the chest. Interlace the fingers, palms press up towards ceiling as left knee stacks on top of the right. Eagle legs. Lift up and out of the waist, knit the rib cage in. On your exhale, we're gonna come straight back, unravel. Left leg kicks back, press the palms forward in a warrior three shape. Lift the pinkies up towards the ceiling, knit the rib cage up and in. Bend into the right knee, left toes to the back of the mat. Keep the left knee lifted as you open up the heart. Little back bend at the top. Release the hands. Frame out the right foot. Step back, plank pose. Either a vinyasa or send the hips straight back, downward facing. Right to it on the second side. In breath, left toes reach. Exhale, knee into the chest. Foot steps through, right knee comes to a hover, upper body lifts. So right knee is literally just an inch above the mat. Left heel squeezes back, right toes squeeze forward. Take an inhale here. On an exhale, twist upper body to the left while keeping the spine tall. So you're just rotating kind of around the spinal column. On your exhale, palms stay to touch at the heart. Reverse half moon with palms lifted. So extending right leg back, left shoulder to stack on top of right, and then maybe you extend fingertips open, right hand towards mat or towards a hover, left hand towards sky. Keep the twist for a moment, bend into both knees, right knee taps left calf. We're gonna circle left hand to hold onto the right toes or right foot. And then with whatever grip you've got, take your time here. We're gonna kick into the hand, lift the upper body, open up the heart, reverse dancers, fingertips, right fingertips reach forward. On your in-breath, we're coming up through standing. Interlace the fingers, palms press up towards ceiling as right knee stacks on top of the left, eagle legs. Pressing palms up high, knit the rib cage up and in. We're gonna keep the arms as they are. As we unravel, right leg kicks back, warrior three. Flex out the right toes. Lift pinkies up towards the ceiling, even a little bit more. Rib cage knits in. Bend into the left knee, right toes step back. Open up through the heart. Release the hands, circle them down to the top of the mat, step back, plank pose. Either a vinyasa or send the hips straight back, meeting in our downward dog. All right, that flow, one more time. On your next in-breath, sweep the right toes high. Exhale, right knee to nose, step the foot through. Left knee bends to a hover, upper body lifts, palms touch. Exhale, rotate to the right, take an in-breath. Palms stay to touch at heart as you shift your weight to the right foot, left toes lift, and then fingertips extend long in both directions. Bend into both knees, left knee taps right calf. Right hand circles to the left foot, left fingertips forward and then kick into the hand, open it up. Reverse dancers. Next in-breath, ground into the right heel. We're coming all the way to standing. As left knee stacks on top of right, press palms up towards the ceiling. Maybe this time in your eagle shape, a little bit of a back bend. Open up the heart. Keep the fingers interlaced, palms pressing up. Unravel, left leg kicks back. Press the palms in front of you. On your exhale, bend into the right knee, left toes drop. Open up the heart. This time we're gonna drop the hands, circle them down to interlace at the low back, shoulders onto the back body. With your exhale, humble the warrior, right shoulder to the right knee. Drop the weight of the head, big compression in the right hip, take an in-breath. On your exhale, circle left hand down to the mat as right fingertips open up, horizon pose, spin to the outside edge of left foot. Right fingertips point to the back of the mat. In breath, unravel. Frame out the right foot, kick the right toes to a hover. On your exhale, lower halfway. Pull through to your up dog. Exhale, hips up and back. Downward facing. All right, last time, last side for this sequence. Inhale, left toes reach. Exhale, knee into the chest. Step the foot through between the hands. Right knee bends to a hover, upper body lifts, palms to touch, take an in-breath. On your exhale, rotate to the left. Right shoulder to the front of the mat, left shoulder back. We're gonna kick off of the right toes, grounding into the left foot. Finding our reverse half moon. Keep palms to touch it hard if you can. And then as you're ready for it, open it up. Right hand down, left fingertips reach. Exhale, bend into both knees, right knee taps, left calf. Circle left hand to hold onto the right foot or ankle or wherever you can grab. Reach right hand forward. And then kicking into the left hand with the right foot, open it up. Reverse dancers. Last time, come all the way up to standing. Fingers interlace, press palms up as right knee stacks on top of left. Maybe you find the double clasp. Grounding into the left heel, take an in-breath. On your exhale, kick right foot back, flex out the right toes and really press palms out long in front of you. Bend into the left knee, right toes to the back of the mat. Open up the heart, little baby back bend. Just like last time, hands circle down to interlace at the low back, opening up the shoulders. With your exhale, humble the warrior. Left shoulder drops to the inside of the left knee. Drop the weight of the head. And then release right hand down. Left fingertips open up, horizon pose. Spin to the outside edge of right foot. Left hand reaches back. Next, in-breath, come back through center, frame out the left foot. Step left toes back to a hover, three-legged plank. Lower halfway down. And then pull through, find your up dog. Next, exhale, roll over the toes, hips up and back. Downward facing. Big breath in. Big breath back out. Like a wave, ripple forward. Find your plank pose, and then bend into the knees, dropping the knees to the floor for a tabletop. Just once here. On your in-breath, open up the heart, lift tailbone, lift gaze. Exhale, shift to the fingertips. Lift the palms as you round through the back body. Drop the palms, neutral spine, kick the right leg back, open up the heart. Bend into the elbows, lower chin and chest. And then as you press back up, round right knee to nose. Open up the right knee, extend the right leg to the right, and then drop the right foot to the floor. Take an in-breath. Exhale, hips back to the left heel. Just for a moment, walk the hands over to the right. Kind of dropping right shoulder towards the mat, lifting left shoulder up. And then on your in-breath, we're gonna walk the hands all the way to the left. Planting left hand, lift the hips. Right fingertips reach off kind of overhead. So it's likely that your left hand and your right foot are off of the mat. All right, we're gonna get a little bit funky here. Lift the left knee from the mat. Kick the left leg through. And then we're gonna drop the hips to the floor. Toes point up towards ceiling. Exhale, fold, heart between the thighs. Drop the weight of the head. Soften the jaw, letting body know that this is our cool down flow. We're starting to slow things back down. And then using your next in-breath, come back up through center. Circle left hand back underneath left shoulders. You lift the hips. Once more, tap the left hip to the mat. Reach the right fingertips back. Lift all the way back up. Right fingertips reach forward. And then we're gonna keep the hips lifted. Bring left knee back underneath left hip. Walk the hands back to the top of the mat. Right foot is still out to the right. Kind of a wild one. Lift the right leg, and then we're gonna swing it around, right knee behind the left knee. Send the hips back towards the heels. So it's almost like we're going to cow face pose, but really just gonna meet the shape for a moment before we swap this whole transition out to the other side. One more exhale here. And then using your next in-breath, round up through the back body. Unravel so that the knees are underneath the hips. Find a little shift side to side. In-breath, open up the heart. Lift the tailbone, lift the gaze. Exhale, shift to fingertips, round through the back body, tailbone tucks under, back of the heart presses up. Drop the palms, neutral spine, kick left leg long behind you. Left foot is flexed. And then exhale, bend into the elbows, lower chin and chest to tap the mat. As you press back up, left knee in, pull it to the nose. And then we're gonna open the hip to the left, extend the left leg to the left. Drop the left foot to the mat, and then exhale, hips back to the right heel. Option to stay here, or to walk the hands over to the left. Dropping left shoulder down towards the mat and lifting right shoulder up. One full cycle of breath here. And then using your next inhale, let's walk the hands back through center and then all the way to the right. Right hand underneath right shoulder, lift the hips, kind of a modified side plank shape. We're gonna ground into the left foot. We're gonna lift the right knee from the mat and kick the right leg all the way through. Drop the right foot to the mat, legs are to a straddle, pivot to the left, and exhale, fold over the legs or between the legs. Arms can walk out long in front of you. You can drop fingertips to the mat, or you can walk the hands to the feet, somewhere down the legs. Drop the weight of the head here. Chin pulls in towards chest. 2 more cycles of breath. And then inhale to walk back up through center. Right hand underneath the right shoulder, lift the hips, left fingertips sweep high. And then again, just once this time, right hip taps the floor, left hand reaches towards left toes, and then lift all the way back up. We're gonna lift the right leg, pulling the knee back underneath the hip. Left leg is still out to the left. We're gonna walk the hands back through our tabletop position, wrists under shoulders. We've made it back. Lift the left foot. And then we're gonna swing left knee around, left leg around, left knee behind the right knee. Send the hips back to the heels. Last hip opener for our practice. I think this one feels pretty dang good. Last breath here. And then inhale to come back up through center, unravel the legs so that the knees are hip width. Take a little shift, hips side to side. And then coming back through neutral, last time in breath, open up the heart. Exhale, shift to fingertips. Lift the palms round through the back body. Keep the toes tucked under, sit back onto the feet. Just for a moment, let's interlace the fingers, roll out the wrists, getting a stretch in the bottoms of the feet here too. Switch direction of your circles. And then go ahead and cross over the ankles. I'm gonna come all the way down into a seat. Legs extend long in front of you. Toes pull back towards the body. On your in-breath, circle the arms up overhead. Last time, interlace the fingers, press palms up towards the ceiling. And then on your exhale, like you're reaching for something, press palms forward as you pull heart towards the thighs. We're gonna keep this active just for a couple breaths. Keep pressing palms forward. Keep pulling toes back towards the face. Take an inhale here. Exhale, release into the stretch, hands to the mat or to the feet or to the floor or to the legs. Drop the head. One more exhale, sink a little deeper into the shape. And then using your next in-breath, come back up through center, reach the fingertips forward. Use strength of the core to roll down the back body. Reach fingertips up overhead, full body stretch, kicking through the heels, reaching through the fingertips. And then pull the legs into the chest. Right ankle over the left knee. Pull legs as close as you can in towards the body. Release the arms down by the sides and then drop the left foot to the floor. Lift the hips. Figure 4 bridge pose, making our way out of the practice the same way we came in. Drop the hips down. Pull right knee into the chest. Right peace fingers hold on to the right big toe as you straighten out the leg. Right thigh towards right rib cage. Maybe opening right leg off to the right. And then come back through center, swap it out. Left ankle over the right knee. Hands down by the sides, using just the strength of the core and the legs to invite legs in towards body. And then drop right foot to the floor, ground into the right heel, lift the hips. Figure 4 bridge pose. And drop the hips back down, left leg pulls in. Peace fingers hold on to the left big toe as you play with straightening the leg or somewhat straightening the leg. Maybe opening up to the left side of the mat. Pull both knees into the chest, bending into both knees. Hands hold on to both big toes at the same time, happy baby, or onto the outside edges of the feet. Find a little bit of a rock side to side, or maybe you play with straightening through one leg and then the other, maybe eventually both. Your options. And then we're gonna work our way into our final twist before Shavasana. So keep the right knee in, left leg extends long. Drop the right arm to a cactus or into a T and take an in-breath. And then using your exhale, right knee across, left side of the body, both shoulders to the floor. Maybe the gaze drops over to the right hand. In-breath to come back through center, swap it out. Left knee pulls in, right leg reaches long. Left thigh squeezes into left rib cage. Drop the left arm out, cactus or T, and then exhale, find the twist. In-breath to come back through center. Both knees pull in, lift the shoulders up off the mat so we can clasp opposite elbows around the knees. And whenever you're ready for it, on an exhale, let's land in Shavasana. Legs to the top of the mat, arms out by the sides, eyes closed. And letting the toes kind of point out towards the top corners of the mat. Palms face up here for receiving energy, or if you'd like a little bit more grounding, you could bring the palms, the fingers somewhere onto the body, somewhere on the belly or the heart. And if the eyes haven't closed yet, let's land here with the eyelids softening and then to shut. Maybe you'll land here with one last really big in-breath through the nose. And then open mouth, exhale, move it through. Notice if there's anywhere in the body that you're holding. Are you clenching in the jaw? Are you tensing the eyelids shut? Knowing that Shavasana, this final resting pose, is both a place of integration of our practice, and it's also a transition point between the asana practice that we do on our mat and whatever is coming next in your day, where hopefully you're bringing the practice off of the mat and into your life with you. I'm going to give us some moments in silence, but I encourage, as many times as you need to, you come back to the breath as an opportunity to connect to the present. Notice, are you breathing or are you holding your breath? Is there anywhere in your body that you're holding tension that could be released, softened? And can you identify, is there anything at all that you need right now before beginning our transition back out? And if you have the time, you are more than welcome and encouraged to linger here a bit longer. Or if you're ready, you could wiggle the fingers and wiggle the toes and roll out the wrists, roll out the ankles, inviting movement back in slowly, gently, sweetly, lovingly. Full body stretch if that feels good. And then pulling knees back into the chest. Eyes stay closed as much as possible for this transition back up. And you might roll onto a side and pause there. Knowing that there's no rush, the next place we'll meet is back up into a comfortable seat. Eyes closed to keep the gaze inward a little bit longer. And to set this intention that you're going to take you with you as you go out into the rest of your day or evening, week, weekend. Hands can meet at the heart or they can rest wherever they're resting. As always, I thank you so incredibly much for being a part of this community and for moving with me and for practicing together. Sending you all sorts of love and thanks. Namaste. Thank you, friends. I hope to move with you again soon. Be sure to check out the Kula if you're interested in practicing classes with me more often, as well as live classes in the Kula. Check out the retreat schedule. There's a teacher training that will be announced soon as well. Some product, some merch. There's all sorts of things going on over in the Kula. You can also find me on Instagram at Nicole Wild Collective. Thank you.